answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from award-winning accounting to marketing and entrepreneurship programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
What is it about the car shopping experience at Murdoch Hyundai that has everyone talking? Maybe it's the safety inspections or the car washes for life. It could be the price match guarantee, or maybe it's just the way you're treated. Come fall in love in Linden, Logan, and Murray at Murdoch Hyundai. Your no regrets dealer.
Coming out of that first media timeout, we take a look at this Utah Valley home win streak. Again, we said that they are 5th in the country. Now, every team ahead of Utah Valley tonight, except for Montana, has a home game. So we're going to keep tabs on exactly how South Dakota State, Charleston, and Houston are doing. And if Utah Valley can come away with this victory, that would be number 17 consecutive. That would be fantastic. And that's an incredible milestone that goes overlooked a lot of the time.
Yeah, and you think about on the Utah Valley side, the confidence that gives them, but it's more the flip side. When opponents know they have to come into Utah Valley,
very true.
They know it's tough to get a win there, and especially when that gets into conference play. Wolverines went through the entire conference last year without losing at home, and that word spreads quickly, and they know it's tough to get a win here at the UCCU Center.
Brad Schaefer in his 5th season. And that record doesn't necessarily equate to the tenacity of this squad, but as you can see early on, a 10-6 lead. We know that Mountaineers are going to do everything they can to try to upset this win streak against Utah Valley. And they show it off with more pesky defense. Hardy, nice dish, good ball movement. Three-pointer in the corner, this one from Porter.
That was just terrific ball movement, and you can see this 1-2-2 kind of softer half-court press is kind of giving the Wolverines fits right now as Western's starting to make a little bit of a run.
Right now, there's Wyatt Lowell, tries to answer. Connor McDougal grabs the board, goes back up, misses. Lowell gets another board, and this one kicks off the glass and in.
As Wyatt took that outside shot and then gets that offensive board down low, it kind of gives you perspective that Wyatt Lowell is 6'10", as, man, we get another three-point basket there by number 11.
That's Sicknick. And right now, 4 or 5. Western Colorado has 4 or 5. Connor Tulsa says, hey, you know what? I can do this too. Don't get me started. Three-pointer for Connor Tulsa in the corner. 5-point Mountaineers lead. And another heat check. Mountaineers still in possession. Sue Barton taking his time. First time we've really seen an offensive play orchestrated by the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And, you know, as they've got onto this hot shooting streak, as they get another one to fall, this time that one coming from Brian Reed, the fadeaway jumper. But again, there hasn't been a whole lot of baskets scored inside and interior, and it's tough to, you know, make shots the entire game long. As we get Wyatt Lowell just gets that one to rim out. But McDougal again continues to be a problem down low, showing his size. And again, we mentioned from that North Dakota game, he got that jump hook going, and hopefully he's got confidence as we get another outside shot here. This one just comes off short for Western.
Bendequassa with the rebound for Utah Valley past the timeline. Top of the key. Wyatt Lowell is going to have another chance at that same spot. This one a little bit too long. Now we saw earlier in that pregame, Utah Valley has 3 of the top 5 three-point shooters in the conference so far. And Harding misses that layup. Utah Valley. Jake Tulsa is going to try. He misses. Connor McDougal, big board, and a solid reset for Utah Valley.
See if they can recognize the mismatch and reward McDougal as they do. Connor, great find, and the and one.
No shot. This one was waved off. Oh. Robbery as I read the lips of one of the Utah Valley assistant coaches.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I thought he got hit and immediately went up for it. We'll see on the replay. See the hit coming over, and maybe it was a little early, but usually the official gives that one the benefit of McDougal. But nice shot by Connor of recognizing the mismatch down low and then also rewarding McDougal for his effort to pick up his third offensive rebound in his short couple minutes there.
Jake Tilson now, and TJ Washington back in the game along with Bailey Steele. Tilson slicing and dicing his way, trying to get to the hoop. Uses his strength. One-handed finish. Utah Valley now pulls within 3. And now you see the defensive intensity really picking up for Utah Valley.
And on the perimeter, Coach Pope really has an athletic lineup out there with Ben and TJ, and then Isaiah White on the wing is, this one's gonna get poked away as Bailey Steele is a little lazy with that rebound.
That's just old school pickpocket right there. Playing backyard basketball with your dad or grandpa when you're not looking, that's exactly what that was. Sinknecht stole that one from Steele. Mountaineers with 15 on the clock. Steele's gonna hold this one a little. Less than 12 to play in the first. 3-point ball game. Mountaineers on top. TJ Washington. Utah Valley with an opportunity now to tie the game. Washington. Nice finger roll, finessed it in.
Steve Nash-esque right there. Not letting the defender leave the ground and just kind of surprising with that offhand as he got that finger roll to go.
Even the big man will try. And this one rims off. Bailey Steele with another board. Jake Tilson wide open. He'll take it. And he'll sink it. Utah Valley's first lead of the game comes with 11 left in the first.
And you can see how the Wolverines can score in such a variety of ways, but on the other side of the ball, Western Colorado really struggling to get anything interior against the size of the Wolverines and their physical defense tonight.
Mountaineers have been struggling offensively for the past 3.5 minutes. Coach Pope pulls the reins. And then I'm sure he's going to try and get him right back up and going again. Good ball movement on the perimeter. Now to Kwasa. Tries to split the defense, draws a foul. And that one will go against Jake Wilcox. Utah Valley clawing back. They were down. Now they're up by 2, courtesy of Jake Tilson, the number 2 3-point shooter in the conference.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at GoUVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
Eyes on me! I'm Mark Pope, coach of the UVU men's basketball team. I want to thank Carlos Iglesias and Ken Garf Volkswagen for being a great friend of Utah Valley University athletics, basketball, volleyball, and everything else.
Thanks, Coach. We're proud to support a great program like Utah Valley University Sports. We wish the Wolverines a fantastic season.
You can thank Carlos, too, by visiting their new dealership today, Ken Garf Volkswagen. We hear you.
Western Colorado right now putting up a fight against Utah Valley. And they did beat Air Force by 20. Some people might not believe that that's true, but it did happen. And there's the stats right there to prove it. In that game, they shot 29 of 53, 15 out of 29 3-pointers. That's no matter, there's no easy way to put it other than efficient.
Right, and you can call a fluke or whatever you want to say, but you still have to go in and make those shots. And, you know, it's a scare that they brought tonight as they started out hot. They're already 4 of 10 from the three-point line, shooting 40%, whereas the Wolverines only shooting 28% from the three-point line. And so Western Colorado shows they have the firepower, and we'll see if they can sustain that through the entire game.
Utah Valley right now is out-rebounding Western Colorado by 10. Utah Valley has a total combined team rebounds of 14. Western Colorado combined 4. And that goes back to your point about the presence in the paint. Western Colorado getting a lot of their momentum and their points off of transition, off of steals.
And as you mentioned, rebounds, a lot of that run for the Wolverines was sparked by McDougal off the bench, who came in, played about 3 or 4 minutes, but had 3 offensive rebounds during that sequence. And a lot of time for the Wolverines, those offensive rebounds turned into kick-out threes, or they get to the free throw line, and that's really how the Wolverines got control back in this game.
Utah Valley with the 2-point lead, first lead of the game. First cushion, I should say. Less than 10 to play. Bailey Steele, who has 5 rebounds over the, gives way. Bendequasa for 3. Rims up. And Steele tried to come up with it, but they're going to call over the back on the big fella. And that'll be quickly his second personal foul.
It was such a hard play for Bailey. Bailey just a head and a half foot, or a head taller than everybody. Again, there's no contact there, but when the official sees that ball or getting brought down and another player on their back, it puts them in a tough position, almost forced to make a call. And you know, if they're going to make one, you'd rather see a jump ball in that situation rather than fouling Bailey. And as you mentioned, that's his second.
Coach Pope, during that little intermediate timeout there, was pleading to the referee, saying, hey, that's a hard call. As Erling gets that one to fall in, so now we're all tied up again. Now Bailey Steele with 2 fouls. We'll see how that plays out and how the difference in the balance between time with McDougal, Lowell, and even Harward on the bench shapes up here. 14 on the clock. McDougal going to work against Erline. McDougal gives way. Easy sky hook.
That's what we were talking about. He is just so patient down there, and then Wolverines cut so well. You can see that entire half of the court was cleared away for McDougal to go to work and operate.
Erling trying to go up and under. A little bit too high. Naquasa pushes out to Washington. Washington crossover. Gives away to McDougal in the lane. Misses. And an offensive foul on McDougal.
That was a tough one. That rebound came right back to him as McDougal tried to do a floater. And as you see this again, McDougal patient, and just too strong for Western Colorado there in the paint, and that's just a gimme right there in front of the rim for McDougal.
Utah Valley still on top by 2. And some fresh substitutions as Christian West with the ball enters the game for the Mountaineers.
And as Western's really struggled to score, we haven't mentioned Quincy Harding's name very much over the last 8 or so minutes, and get another tough outside shot. Again, nothing going to the rim as the Wolverines look to push it here as Isaiah White tries to get to the rim himself.
TJ Washington with the stutter step drives and another Nash-esque finger roll. Extends Utah Valley's largest lead of the game, 24-20. And there's your man Hardy with the crossover step of his own. Isaiah White with the big rebound. Here's Naquasa past the timeline. Isaiah White calling for it in the corner. Instead, they go down low to McDougal, and they're going to call a foul. And that'll go against Brian Reed.
I think we're getting another look at TJ Washington getting to the rim, and again, he's just so quick and hesitating and can blow by defenders. Even though he's small, he's got a big heart. And right now he's leading the Wolverines to a 24-20 lead.
I decided to go to college to further my education and define my purpose in the world and be a part of something much bigger than myself.
I wanted to set up the best possible future for myself, both academically and athletically. I try to learn from everyone, whether that be professors, my teammates, or other student athletes.
I try to see everyone as an opportunity to learn. Everyone has a story to tell, and I think there's a moral and something you can learn from it.
Utah Valley getting some extra coaching in that huddle. They had their largest lead of the game, 24-20. Western Colorado came out early on top, and they had a lead extensively through the first 5-6 minutes of this game. Then Utah Valley came back and answered. Now they do cling on to that 4-point lead right now. Take a look at your team leading scores for Utah Valley. Jake Toulson with 5. Then you have Bailey Steele, TJ Washington, and Connor McDougal, all with 4 apiece. For Western Colorado, Brady Subart with 5. Jackson Erlin with 4. And Cole Sinkneck with 3. And Utah Valley gets the ball right out of the gate. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Subart. That'll be his first personal.
Going into that last break, you mentioned the huge discrepancy right now. The Wolverines out-rebounding Western Colorado by 12. And then I looked at the shots, and Western Colorado has 2 more shots than the Wolverines. I didn't know how in the world that was possible, but Western Colorado has 0 turnovers. So they're doing a great job of taking care of the basketball and have forced the Wolverines into 5 of their own, which resulted in a lot more possessions on their side as Jake, again, so difficult to guard because he has so much game. He has so many moves and fakes there on the low block for a guy his size.
The reigning WAC Offensive Player of the Week, Jake Toulson. And that ball slips out of the hands of the Mountaineers. It'll be Wolverine basketball. Jake Toulson scored 17 points, and Connor Toulson had 15 last Saturday in that win over North Dakota, right here in the UCCU Center. Ben DeQuassa trying to drive, gets in trouble. Now Connor McDougal with the baby sky hook. If McDougal can continue to develop that type of game, he is going to be a deadly force come conference play. Now on the other end, Mountaineers trying to answer. Wild shot, rimmed off. Now Ben DeQuassa. Nice bounce pass, TJ Washington. Give and go to the big man. Back-to-back buckets for C-Mac.
TJ Washington, I mean, his ability to pass in transition is incredible. Going that speed and be able to give it to big guys in a position where they can catch it. He has an incredible gift of being able to do that. And as you mentioned, McDougal being able to get that right hook going. It's so difficult as Quincy Harding still struggling to get himself going after those first couple buckets.
A little showtime pass from Ben DeQuassa. Utah Valley trying to take a breath for a second, get some composure. And Jake Toulson spots up, and that is just laser focus. He's locked in right now from distance, JT.
Yeah, Jake has really brought on and owned this leadership role on this team, as he really is the one that comes in and night out. As you mentioned, that laser focus, you can see that head on the rim, and it doesn't move even all the way through that shot. And Jake's never afraid to hold that follow through and let everyone know he's feeling pretty good about his shot.
So, a couple minutes ago, remember that one time where the Mountaineers had a huge lead on Utah Valley? Well, now give it a couple minutes here.
A minute and 30 seconds ago?
Yeah. 13-point lead. It just exploded out of that last media timeout. Harding with the floater, misses. Wyatt Lowell, along with Richard Harwood, check back into the game.
As the Wolverines continue to grow this lead, it's such a great experience for these guys off the bench to get minutes and get involved in the scoring, as Wyatt still can't quite get anything to go from the outside, but you and I both know how much Coach Pope loves to go to the depth of his bench, especially late into the season as guys, the season wears on him, you never know what's going to happen, and so it's a great time and moment for these guys to continue to get involved in Coach Pope's scheme and system and get real minutes going into the end of this first half.
And you know just as well as about anybody, Holden, you've got your hands and name all over record books at this university. And as far as points go, you are the second highest point tallier of the season. And as a point scorer, you know that the best mindset is to have a short memory if you're a shooter. And Coach Pope will just continue to encourage his shooters to take those shots regardless of whether they miss. Now, sure, absolutely he wants them to go in, but he's not going to pull somebody if they miss a shot or two.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you can see that with the body language of all the guys on the team as well. You know, Wyatt Lowell hasn't got it going from the three-point line today, but not one guy flinched when he continues to take another shot, and they're going to encourage him to keep shooting because they know they're going to need a scoring down the stretch.
Harvard misses, team battling for the rebound. This one will go off the Mountaineers on the baseline. The Utah Valley basketball. You saw right there Richard Harvard's post presence. He's been working on his gameplay in that area. Coach Pope says he's one of the hardest workers and has had some of the biggest improvement from last year to this year on this team. Fresh shot clock, Wolverines. Connor Tilson is going to show off his post moves, and he gets a little floater to go.
Connor, after watching McDougal get so much action and reps in the post, went to McDougal's own move with that right-handed hook, and Connor athletic enough to put that in over as we get finally something to fall from the outside for Western Colorado. Monroe Porter gets one to fall.
Isaiah White with the drive. Harvard trying to get the rebound. Can't connect. Harding with the coast-to-coast drive misses. And you saw all 5 Wolverine shirts in the paint to get a rebound. TJ Washington draws the foul. TJ Washington with a burst of speed trying to split the defenders.
And he is so quick, and on that one, the defender just couldn't quite get his feet set as he was trying to get back in transition.
And as the very astute fan pointed out, you can't do that. That is a foul.
No, you cannot. Especially as you see those 2 lines there underneath the basket. Whenever a defender gets any part of his foot within those 2 lines, that is the offensive player's right of way, so to speak. And so anytime any contact there, unless the guy is just straight vertical, it's going to send the offensive player to the free throw line.
TJ Washington with his 5th point. That's his first free throw attempt. And Washington sinks the second. (37-23) Utah Valley on top. A little over 4 minutes to play in the first frame. Brandon Crow alongside Holden Hunsaker thanking you for letting us be a part of your Wednesday evening on the WAC Sports Digital Network, and especially here on UVU TV. Isaiah White flexing his muscles, knowing that he caused that turnover with some solid defense. And that'll lead us to immediate timeout. Utah Valley again on top, 37-23. Right back with more after this. Utah Valley 7-23 as we come back. A little less than 4 minutes, to play in this first half. And again, just by looking at the score, you might think, okay, yeah, Utah Valley's had it pretty easy, but that's not the case. Western Colorado came out, sucker punched Utah Valley first, and they had quite the big lead in the first 5-6 minutes of this game. Then Utah Valley clawed their way back, and then since the 8-minute mark has just exploded to the lead that they have now. And right before we went to break, TJ Washington tried to split the defense, draw a foul. Right now, your leading scorer with double figures for both teams, Jake Toulson with 10 points, 4 of 6 from the floor. Right behind him with 8 points is Connor McDougal. And the big big fella's got 3 rebounds as well. Bailey Steele, 5 boards and 4 points. Double-double watch for the man of steel. Connor Toulson in trouble. Benaquasa gives away. Connor Toulson, transition jumper, runs off. Bodies flying all over the paint. And I believe Richard Harvard will have drawn a foul. And that will go against Jackson Erlin.
And that one's going to put Richard on the line as Wolverines now in bonus situation. And, you know, as I look on the other side of it, Western Colorado hasn't shot a free throws. Richard can't get that one to go, and that's just kind of a sign that Western kind of put on the brakes with their aggressive play and have just really started to settle for just outside shooting.
Mountaineers and Erlin. Nice pass down low. Benaquasa coming from behind. Thought he had all ball. Got him with the body, is what the officials say. We'll take another look at it. Erlin with a nice pass. And Ben got some body. Good call.
Yeah, definitely got all ball up top, but as he went to swipe at it, you could see he got the head of Jake Wilcox, who knocks down the first free throw.
Jake Wilcox scores his first point of the night tonight from the charity stripe. And a fresh face, Will Willis, checks into the game. 50% field goal percentage so far on the season. And he makes both of those free throws. Jake Wilcox, redshirt sophomore from Grand Junction, Colorado. And on the other end, it looks like Brady Subar. Will get his hand caught in the
between Ben and TJ Washington, whenever they feel contact or as they know they've got, you know, shoulder on a guy, great job of selling that, but not to the extent where it takes them out of the play, but just enough to let the official know that, hey, there's contact. And a lot of the time these guys get the call, especially in bonus situation, is Ben just not able to get that one to fall from the free throw line as well.
Now the Mountaineers on the other side trying to get some offensive spark going like they had when they first started this ball game. Perimeter defense really on lockdown for Utah Valley. Mountaineer pull-up free throw jump shot was tipped. And a save attempt was there by the Mountaineers, but I think Cole Sinkneck threw it off his own teammate. I think Will Willis and Sinkneck threw the ball off of each other there. Great hustle play nonetheless.
Now Western coming out with a 3-2 kind of matchup zone as that forces the Wolverines to kind of lose concentration, and Jake Wilcox pick up the steal and an easy layup on the other end. See what this new defense that Western Colorado has out there affects the Wolverines in their offensive play.
Sloppy play offensively the last possession. Utah Valley trying to advance themselves. Isaiah White is going to take matters into his own hands. Strong drive, rimmed off, and Harvard gets fouled in the act. That one's going to go against Brian Reed.
Isaiah White, a lot of contact on the drive, and you can see Richard Howard skying well above any Western Colorado player and quick up with it, and you saw the slaps on the arm, which him for making the shot as Richard, and that's the third straight free throw missed by the Wolverines. You know, it kind of becomes an epic when you see a couple guys struggling from the free throw line. You kind of, if you play golf, you get the shanks, you see it happen, you start getting into your mind, and it's hard to get out of it. See if Richard can knock this down and change that funk here for the Wolverines.
Harvard, 50%, 1 for 2 on that last trip to the charity stripe. Utah Valley on top, 38-27. Now the Mountaineers with 12 on the shot clock. Loose ball. This one is off of Isaiah White's legs. Sinkneck lost it in mid-transition. Splits the defense, 1-2 Euro. Bouncing right off Isaiah, nothing he can do there. And Sinkneck and Connor Toulson with those ups. Loses the battle. Toulson to Toulson. Pump fake, drive, kick out again. Hesitation. Connor trying to find that rhythm. Zipnek with the rebound. 38-27, 11-point Utah Valley lead. A deep three-point shot. Woo! Showed some range there, Will Willis. 38-30, single-digit lead for Utah Valley, no matter how far Utah Valley tries to go. The Mountaineers continue to pull them back. Jake Toulson with the drive. Nice finish at the rack. So strong.
So strong and then just so crafty around the rim. That's probably the fourth different style of layup and shot we've seen from Jake tonight around the rim. And, you know, he makes it look effortless out there. And we see another Will Willis three. Couldn't get it to go, and this time that one's going to be tipped out of bounds by J.J. Roberts.
A little over a minute to play here in the first half. Utah Valley's lead has been bouncing around like a lottery pinball. Right now it's settling at 10. It was at 13, and they were even trailing to the Mountaineers by 8. TJ Washington with the kick out. Nice fake. Jake Toulson with another three-pointer. Jake Toulson with 13 points. That's his third three-pointer in this first half. Zipnek trying to answer. TJ Washington skying. We got an outlet to Isaiah White. We know what he can do. And he gets it. And one finish. He was setting up for takeoff.
What a rebound and what an outlet pass by TJ Washington. You can see that look in his eye at Isaiah White wanting to go attack the rim, but you can see Cole getting his arm mixed in as Isaiah White wanted to flush that one home.
Looks like there was some miscommunication between Western Colorado. Brad Schaefer was trying to instruct some of his players, and the head official signaled for a timeout, and then Schaefer put his hands up saying, I didn't call a timeout. So miscommunication there. Isaiah White will go to the free throw line, try and get 2 points, which he wishes he could have had via the dunk. Three-point play, I beg your pardon. And now the timeout is officially called. So with 30 seconds left to play in the first half, Utah Valley is on top with their largest official lead of 16. We saw it get up to about 13. We've seen two different Utah Valley teams so far in this first half, Holden.
Yeah, one that really gets after on the defensive end and the perimeter, where they're not really giving Western Colorado any easy looks, and a lot of Western Colorado shots are coming late into the shot clock where they just have to force something up as an attempt. And the Wolverines are getting it done on the offensive end, where we've seen Jake Toulson really putting on a show offensively in all of the variety of ways that he can score the basketball.
I don't know if his little guy at home, baby Gus, I don't know if he's giving his dad some extra love or extra sleep time, if he knows when his dad scores. But Jake Toulson, the proud father, making his little guy proud. 16-point lead for Utah Valley, and there's a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. We'll see what the Mountaineers elect to do here. About 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Zipnek trying to create space, does, and drains it with Wyatt Lowell in his face.
What a shot there by Cole as time was rushing down and expiring. That over 6'10". Wyatt Lowell, who just puts his hands down for a second, it was just enough. That one barely hit the net on that one.
That was about as pretty of an arc as you'll ever see. So there's a timeout that was called. So with 3 seconds left, still 13-point lead by Utah Valley.
Coach Pope and his staff begging for extra time on the clock as he called that timeout right as that ball went through the net. So he thinks there should be at least another second put back on that clock. And again, as we saw Western Colorado call a quick timeout after that free throw by Isaiah White, Coach Pope looking to drop his own. And again, these are all situations that carry over further down into season and conference play when there's not a 13-point game, but a great opportunity to practice something that you've drawn up in front of your players against a team that has never seen it before, and we'll see what they get out of this in the last 3 seconds.
There is still some discrepancy between the coaching staff and the officials right now. Coach Pope is talking with 2 of the officials directly, trying to explain and plead his case. And I believe that some sort of decision has been made. Pope is still talking about this. And
it's a great thing to look at, just because this might happen later on during the season, and officials have to understand how a coach handles end of half or end of game situations, and every second counts. As Coach Pope gets a warning right here for being out of the coach's box, and
now he officially gets a technical. So just when we thought this first half was going to end, we've got some fireworks here as Coach Pope is trying to figure out exactly where the discrepancy was between when he called that timeout and the clock. But meanwhile, in the background, J.R. Roberts is going to step to the free throw line. And he makes the first shot.
I've seen a lot of technical fouls called in games, not only on this floor, but as we all love to watch basketball and see highlights of things. That was a pretty soft technical foul call, in my opinion. It is Coach Pope just trying to work out time of the game clock with the officials and trying his best to get an explanation. We're going to get a quick inbounds and a play by T.J. Washington. And Jake just off on that 3, but he felt good about it as we both chuckled about his facial expression.
He looked over at T.J. Washington. Oh man, if that was a good pass or what, I don't know. But that's how the first half will end. 46-35, 11-point Utah Valley lead. And we are going to toss it to our sideline reporter, Alexa O'Neill, who's here with Coach Pope.
And then things started to pick up, the energy level rose, and now you guys are going into the half with the lead.
Yeah, our guys are battling right now. It's a tough team to guard. Their motion is really good. They're shooting the ball really well right now, and we just got to pay attention to every detail of the defensive game plan. But I'm proud of my guys that are battling right now.
Good. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, Alexa. So again, Utah Valley with the 11-point lead heads to the break. And we'll be right back with a little bit more and some analysis after this right here on GoUVU TV.
All right, don't start yet. The next challenge is the free throw challenge. We got Kenny on this side, Danny on this side.
Did you know that over 43 million Americans struggle with mental health problems annually?
43 million.
That's 1 in 5 adults.
Did you know that there's 1 death by suicide in the United States every 12 minutes?
Did you know that suicide takes the lives of over 40,000 Americans each year?
Over 40,000 mothers,
fathers,
daughters,
sons, brothers,
sisters, and friends.
Did you know that you can help reverse this trend?
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness,
birthday money. Just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
Hi, my name is Brady, and today we're here with local high school students taking a behind-the-scenes tour of the newly renovated Vivint Smart Home Arena. What we're doing today is we're giving these STEM students an opportunity to pursue an engaged learning experience at Utah Valley University.
I like the renovations that we've seen and how the Vivint Center's changed from then to now.
My favorite part of the tour is just watching that truck have to go. That's what I found interesting.
The organization loves to work with kids. They are our future. We love to work with them on different programs, whether it's math, technology, engineering, reading. It's just important for these kids to come and participate and see what it's like out in the real world, what jobs are like, and see firsthand what's out there for them.
What interests me about engineering is how many options you have to go into careers.
In the future, I'd like to be working somewhere like NASA or Boeing or SpaceX.
I personally think engineering could change the world because they're coming out with so many new technology, just everything changing.
Do it with the real jazz players, so that was a cool experience.
It was awesome. Just a lot of positive energy in this building with these kids here, and having to do math and then get out here and exercise it physically, that's really challenging. I had a blast.
As all organizations that see STEM as very important, we see that science, technology, engineering, and math are huge for our upcoming future of children that we have, and we'd like to do everything we can to help these students.
I like math a lot. You use it all the time. It's just really important.
I think it's just all around, it's important and it helps you in your everyday life and education.
Advice I could give to those kids was, just take things one day at a time and put your best foot forward in everything that you do. 20 years from now, you never know who's next to you, and it's going to be the best doctor, the best basketball player, football player. If you just continue to strive for little wins and achieving your big goals, everything will be great.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great. Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color,
texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Eyes on me! I'm Mark Pope, coach of the UVU men's basketball team. I want to thank Carlos Iglesias and Ken Garf Volkswagen for being a great friend of Utah Valley University athletics, basketball, volleyball, and everything else.
Thanks, Coach. We're proud to support a great program like Utah Valley University Sports. We wish the Wolverines a fantastic season.
You can thank Carlos, too, by visiting their new dealership today, Ken Garf Volkswagen.
We hear you.
There is so much to celebrate in life, from the smallest of hands to the victories of youth and precious occasions with family and friends, sharing unforgettable moments. Continue accomplishing your goals and celebrate success at Utah Valley University. Apply by August 1st for fall semester.
Welcome back. Halftime here at the UCCU Center, Western Colorado, Utah Valley with the Wolverines on top 46-35. Hello again, everybody. Brandon Crow alongside Holden Hunsaker with you here on this Wednesday evening in Orem, Utah on UVU TV and the WAC Sports Digital Network. It was a rough start for Utah Valley at the get-go. They came out, the Mountaineers did, and they punched them. Honestly, Utah Valley, and then Utah Valley came back and exploded to have a 16-point lead halfway through that first half.
Yeah, I wasn't really too surprised about the start by Western Colorado. As we mentioned before, during the first half, they came out and beat Air Force early on in the season, so we knew they had firepower. We knew they were excited to get to step on a Division I court against a Utah Valley team that has a lot of excitement, a lot of hype around them, and a team, as we mentioned before, that hasn't lost in a while on this home court, so they were excited for the challenge. And then once things finally got settled down, Wolverines found Jake Toulson out there, and he did a lot of damage and has done a lot of damage so far in this game offensively.
As we take a look at the first half highlights, Jake Toulson, as you mentioned, leads all scorers with 15 points. Bailey Steele had a lot of rebounds and was able to get offensively going there in the first couple minutes. And then you saw Connor McDougal, the big man, who's second leading point scorer on this team right now with 8 points in his first half. He came out and got some key rebounds. I believe the Wolverines were so tired from cheering after all those buckets by Connor McDougal. And then right at the end of this first half here, Coach Pope got a little frustrated, got a technical foul. And TJ Washington exploded, and he continues to have his bursts. Isaiah White, he wanted that dunk there, but again, just an overall team effort, consistent passing plays. And we take a look at those stats right there, plain and simple. Utah Valley winning the post battle, 28 rebounds to 11 rebounds for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and there was a while there where the Mountaineers didn't have any turnovers, and so that's why they were able to stick around, and throw in 7 threes. That allows you to stay in a lot of games. But again, the Wolverines, once they settled down, started to force turnovers on the defensive end, it was turned into a lot of offense for them. Started to take advantage of those second opportunities that they got from the offensive rebound game.
You saw right there, Utah Valley had 4 3-pointers that went in that first half. 3 of those 4 3-pointers came courtesy of Jake Toulson. We'll have the second half queued up for you when we return right here on UVU TV. Right now, halftime score 40.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
You're like a dope job. Are we backwards? Yeah.
Utah Valley with the 46-35 point lead right at halftime. About a little over a minute left until the second half kicks off. very funny note. I don't know if Jake Tilson, it's almost as if he was listening to the broadcast. He came over and gave me a wink and he said, "I've been shooting for Gus," like we talked about. So proud Papa Jake Tilson, again, leading all scorers right now, 15 points on 6 of 8 shooting and 3 of 4 from distance. He has yet to go to the free throw line, which is an interesting note with how aggressively Jake Tilson likes to slash and dash his way inside the paint. But again, more point scores for you up and down the line for Utah Valley. Bailey Steele with 4 points, Isaiah White with 5, Jake Tilson again, like I said, 15, TJ Washington with 6, Connor Toulson with 5 points. He's one that Utah Valley would like to get going consistently on the offensive side. He has 1 3-pointer on the night. He's 1 for 4, 2 of 5 from the floor. 8 points for McDougal. Richard Harvard's got 1, and then Wyatt Lowell's got 2. And Wyatt Lowell 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. And it'll be interesting to see how he attacks the second half from the perimeter.
Yeah, I agree with you about getting Connor Toulson going. Connor is a guy that plays so well off of others and then is not selfish in any way and shares the ball so freely amongst his teammates, but I kind of want him to be a little bit more selfish. This is a new role he's taken on. Last year, the Wolverines had so much firepower offensively that he could kind of play off of other guys, but, you know, as things get a little tighter and, you know, season kind of wears on, we're going to need his scoring, and he's going to need a little bit more selfish on the offensive end.
For the Mountaineers, if you take a look at their offensive production, Erlin with 4, Porter with 6, Subart with 5. Quincy Harding, the man that we highlighted, who averages 20 points a game, he only has 3 points on the night so far. 1 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 8 from 3. 2 points for Jair Roberts, 2 points for Brian Reed, Jake Wilcox with 4, Will Willis with 3, and Cole Sinknick with 6. And also, Brian Reed has 3 fouls. And Utah Valley has a pair with 2. The Utah Valley Wolverines will start the second half with the ball again in their white and green home uniforms. Jake Tilson trying to go reverse. Bailey Steele with the rebound. Connor Toulson slips it. And here comes Harding. Harding with the nice pass. And Bailey Steele looking like Rob Gronkowski in the key. Catches that one. And Utah Valley and Jake Tilson look to start it off with the 3. And a rebound by the Mountaineers. And Monroe Porter. Harding. Down and low. Erlin. Kick out. From the corner, rimmed out by Roberts. TJ Washington. Jake Tilson passes up a 3. Step back. Thought about it. And Connor Tilson comes off the screen. Fade away from the corner. Bailey Steele can't get up. And a couple of decent looks from both teams haven't connected yet to come out of the gate in this second half. That was almost a travel there. Harding, 15 on the clock. Roberts with 8. Trying to go the Kobe Bryant fadeaway. Rims off short. And Harding from the top of the key. He's going to size this one up. That one rims off. Jake Tilson and Connor Toulson collide. Bailey Steele, the big fella, somehow gets a tip on it. Isaiah White trying to call timeout and does successfully. And then what a crazy sequence that was.
Great hustle by Bailey Steele to not give up on that rebound, and then that loose ball and his effort got him contagious, and we'll see if the Wolverines can keep that intensity for the remainder of the second half.
Utah has embodied the spirit of industry. From the first transcontinental railroad to the first department store, we've led the way. As part of the Murdoch Auto team, we're proud to carry on this tradition. That's because when we say you are the heart of our business, it's more than just a slogan. It's our commitment to the values we all hold dear with no regrets. You've got to come see why you truly are the heart of our business. Murdoch Hyundai of Linden, part of the Murdoch Auto team. Click MurdochHyundaiLinden.com.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
46-35, that is still the same score that we had at halftime. Utah Valley and Western Colorado coming out of the gates in the second half and haven't scored yet. Both teams have had an opportunity to do so, but still no score as of yet. So South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, defeated Missouri-Kansas City tonight, UMKC, 75-47, so they continue to extend their home streak. Now again, Utah Valley coming into this game has the nation's fifth best active home win streak with 16 games. South Dakota State leads the country with 23, but they make that 24 tonight. So they've got quite a ways to go. And Charleston and Houston all have home games as well. Montana on the road tonight, so we'll continue to keep a close eye on those teams and their scores throughout the remainder of this one. Utah Valley with the ball below their own hoop. 22 seconds on the clock. Perimeter ball moved by the Wolverines. Washington to Toulson. Isaiah White's going to be aggressive, drive to the hoop, draws contact, no foul. Monroe Porter, his way to Roberts. Roberts with his back to the rim. Somehow was able to get that pass across the court. Porter again. Subart. Nice pass to Roberts down low. Roberts with a nice up and under reverse.
That possession ended up with the layup for Western, but that was great rotations initially by the Wolverines to prevent any outside shooting. There were three guys hustling to chase them off the line as Jake can't get that one to go, but McDougal.
Three-point play for the big fella. Opportunity to catch that three at the charity stripe. That was McDougal's fourth rebound. And if he makes this, that'll be his 11th point. So he's already in double digits right now, him and Jake Toulson.
Yeah, and all four of those rebounds are offensive rebounds, and he's been a huge spark off the bench between him and Bailey as he just can't get that one to fall off the back iron.
Subart from distance misses. Isaiah White with the rebound. TJ Washington draws contact, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot. And they're going to call that one on Jair Roberts. Washington draws that contact, and he floated in the air. And they're going to, I believe, call that, I'm sorry, before the shot. Washington splits. Alley-oop for McDougal. C-Mac with the flush.
TJ Washington basically put that one in the basket for McDougal. And McDougal, I think, was a little surprised himself to be right next to the rim. And TJ Washington continues to show how good he is interior passing. McDougal staying vertical to contest that shot. Great body control. And Isaiah White on the back end off another assist by TJ Washington.
They might as well start calling TJ the piggy bank. He's dropping dimes left and right tonight. And right back to answer and silence the crowd a little bit is Harding. Sloppy pass there. Utah Valley's got to get past the timeline. They do. 52-39. Connor Toulson with the trigger. And that's just what Connor Toulson needs to get that confidence boosting from distance. Whistle's called before the shot. And they're going to call that one on TJ Washington. Mr. Piggy Banks, the C-Mac #1. And then on the other end, slam cam, Isaiah White throwing it down, element.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU. Place to engage, to rise, to succeed.
To become.
Utah Valley with the 55 to 39 point lead. With little less than 16 to play in the ballgame. Connor McDougal was a spark plug in between those last timeouts that we just had. He now has 5 rebounds, all 4 of those offensively, like you said, and he is now in double figures. He's closing in on Jake Toolson. He's got 12 points of his own.
And as McDougal comes off the bench, that's 12 of the 15 points off the bench have been by McDougal. So speaking of his production off the bench, and the Wolverines 34 points in the paint right now, and a lot of that being contributed by TJ Washington, who feeds those big guys when they're open, and he has 7 assists right now.
Mr. Piggy Bank. Good defense by McDougal. Really nothing you could do there. That was solid execution offensively by Brian Reed. 55-41 Utah Valley lead. Ball movement now by Utah Valley. Jake Toolson for 3. Wyatt Lowell missed the opportunity. Good box out by the Mountaineers. And Roberts to Harding. Monroe. Quick trigger. Connor Toolson with the rebound. Mark Pope encourages the Wolverines to turn it up offensively. Connor Toolson, who had a 3 before, misses. Bodies fly. Wyatt Lowell's on the floor. Monroe, Porter.
See where this one goes. I think we're going to get a double foul against Porter and Lowell, as Porter just a little aggressive on that box out, but it looked like Wyatt had his arm kind of tucked under him, and so that's why they both fell. But give Western credit. They continue to battle. This is only a 14-point game. If they can get a string of 3-point shots to fall like we saw in that first half and what they're capable of, they can be right back in this.
So the official foul call will go against Wyatt Lowell. And that'll be his first personal. Subar. And he traveled.
Wolverine basketball.
Something that you don't see in the NBA called ever. And then our trusty fan who's always here lets everybody know, yes, that was a foul. That was a travel violation. 55-41 Utah Valley. TJ Washington passing timeline for the Wolverines. Wyatt Lowell, nice bounce pass. Jake Toolson with the finish. Big fella getting credit by Jake Toolson there. Vision, size, and finesse. We can see him do it all. Pesky hands by Nequasa. Couldn't come up with the steal. And good closeout defense by Nequasa. Harding with the step back. Rims off. And TJ Washington. Head full of steam. Trying to have a reverse layup. McDougal goes up for the board. They're going to wave it off. Foul's called on the floor. Great vision by big man. It was almost as if Jake Toolson was expecting some contact there, the way he just finessed that off the rim there.
Well, these guys just know where they're supposed to be offensively. As you can see, game in and game out, they continue to improve, and as they get the familiarity with each other and how and when they both want the ball, we're going to get look like a shot to the face, just a high elbow. Nothing intentional, I don't think, by, I think that one was Brian Reed, as McDougal came across to see if he's got a bloody nose, and he's holding up like as if he does. And
oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, there's blood dripping down that face. And, some jerseys like Western Colorado might be able to get away with it a little bit, but when you're wearing the all-white at home for Utah Valley, it's tough to get that out there. Slam cam sees all, and it's actually a head-to-head collision. Woo. Oh man, that slam cam. Fantastic camera view, courtesy of our staff here at GoUVU TV.
I think we all kind of felt that one as we saw the replay.
Well, it's not an official Utah Valley basketball season if there's not somebody bandaged up and trying to play. We all know and remember Zach Nelson last year.
That's right.
He had some random Rambo thing going on where it was all around his head. It's not official until somebody gets elbowed or bruised up.
You know, we look at Bailey Steele's headband, and I think it's almost like what Zach had going on, and maybe Zach inspired Bailey with, his headgear that he wears every game. But you're right, Wolverines, they get after it, they play hard, they're not afraid of contact, and it's the nature of the game when you're playing and trying to compete, and the other guys aren't going to back down. Unfortunately, things happen at times, but luckily this is just a bloody nose, and
that we hope.
Exactly what we hope.
I mean, knock on wood, I've never been in that situation with my nose, but we've all seen the face mask players coming out there. And basketball, you continually run, and you need to breathe through your nose. And if you had to breathe through your mouth trying to get out there, that is a very difficult thing to do.
That, and can you picture a scarier McDougal out there in any way? Put a mask on that guy, or gets his nose a little crooked. He already so intimidating on the court.
Referees are still thinking it over. I don't think Coach Pope is electing to make a substitution, I don't think. Or if he did, I don't know what the officials are discussing here at the moment.
I think they're probably just looking at to see if it was anything, a non-basketball play in any way. And after we saw the contact, just the head-to-head of McDougal trying to cut to the rim, we know there wasn't anything flagrant or intentional that occurred. And we'll see Bailey come back in for McDougal as they try to get that blood cleaned up off of his jersey and face.
Yeah, nothing intentional at all. I mean, Brian Reed wasn't even looking at Connor McDougal. And it does look like there is some blood on the floor. So they're going to clean that one up a little bit here.
That one I always found so interesting of how, they rush in basketball to take care of blood, but then we turn the football game on and guys are bloody and cut and everything, and not really any of an issue there. But anyway, good to get things cleaned up, make sure everybody stays healthy that way.
And then rugby players look at us all and they laugh. TJ Washington, now Jake Tilson from Wyatt Lowell. Jake Tilson with the shake and bake. Goes right, goes left, finishes left with two hands. 59-41. Jake Tilson, I think, has a personal goal to try and get to 20. Bailey Steele rejects Harding's offering. Sends that one into the second row. Still a lot of basketball to be played here in this game. Western Colorado still very much capable, like you said, of turning it on from three. Utah Valley just trying to put out the fire where they can. Nice drive, Erlin. He's going to draw the foul. This one will go against Bailey Steele. And that will be Bailey Steele's third personal foul.
A nice initial drive there by Quincy, and then you can see the contact there by Bailey's right arm right into Harding's head and shoulder areas. Harding gets that first one to go for his trip to the free throw line.
Connor Tilson checks in. Connor Tilson with 8 points, 2 3-pointers, 3 of 7 from the field. And he grabs a rebound. Connor Tilson, that is his second rebound. I feel like I've seen him rebound more than that, but he's always hopping and jumping around light balls. Beniquasin looking for TJ Washington, finds Bailey Steele now. Washington from Steele, gives back to Steele, bouncing around. Somehow, some way, Sinknet came up with it, and he's going coast to coast. Misses. Steele with another rebound. Now to Kwasi. Kick out, TJ Washington, a deep three, rims off. Harding with the rebound in the corner.
Pace of play picking up as Western trying to do anything they can to get something going offensively. Again, with the size and presence of the Wolverines, with Bailey Steele and Wyatt Lowell, both 6'10" guys, it's hard to get anything going on the interior.
Bailey Steele's closing in on double-digit rebounds. Benakwasa misses from distance. Benakwasa only has, Benakwasa has no points on the evening tonight.
And just during this stretch, you know, even though the Wolverines are up 17, this is what I was saying, where it'd be nice to see Connor kind of sense the lull in the ball game offensively and continue to be more and more aggressive. And it's not being selfish because the team needs it. They need him to start looking for his own a little bit more offensively when Jake goes to the bench.
Foul's called against TJ Washington right before we take a break. That'll be his second personal foul. Utah Valley still on top comfortably, 59-42.
Eyes on me. I'm Mark Pope, coach of the UVU men's basketball team. I want to thank Carlos Iglesias and Ken Garf Volkswagen for being a great friend of Utah Valley University athletics, basketball, volleyball, and everything else.
Thanks, Coach. We're proud to support a great program like Utah Valley University Sports. We wish the Wolverines a fantastic season.
You can thank Carlos, too, by visiting their new dealership today, Ken Garf Volkswagen. We hear you.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Utah Valley on top of Western Colorado. Brandon Crow alongside Holden Hunsaker. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Wednesday evening here in Southern. I was going to say Southern Utah, but it's not Southern Utah. In the middle of Utah County, south of Salt Lake, for those who aren't familiar, is where I was going with. It's Wednesday. It's
south for me, that's for
south
sure.
For you. South for half of our audience who's watching from the greater Salt Lake area. Benakwasa getting a little talking to there from head coach Mark Pope. We mentioned right before we went to break, Benakwasa, your point guard. He doesn't have any points so far, but he does have 6 rebounds and 2 assists in his short time of play, just about 17 minutes or so. So he is doing some things. But it's just,
and to add to that, no turnovers.
No turnovers.
You know, he's orchestrating, taking care of the ball, making sure guys are going in the right place. And, you know, though he hasn't got any of his shots to go, again, only taking 2, there's a lot more to the game than scoring at times. And, you know, Ben is one of those that will do whatever it takes to make sure these guys are successful, his teammates are successful on the court, and the Wolverines come out to win.
Good defense by the Mountaineers. Utah Valley now with 10 on the shot clock. Connor Toulson finds his space, and he sinks a three-pointer. That'll be his 3rd three-pointer on the evening, pushing him into double digits with 11 points. Mountaineers trying to answer. Bailey Steele will get credit for that rebound. That'll be his 9th rebound. Isaiah White driving, and they're going to call a tip ball off of the Mountaineers. That'll be off of Jackson Erlin. Isaiah White begged to differ. Connor Toulson creates that space, and he is very comfortable in shooting that rock. Now TJ Washington will inbound. Utah Valley now with a 20-point lead, largest lead of the game for the Wolverines. And Benakwasa with the turnover, jinxed him. Roberts. Nice give Nice take by Subar, flying through the lane, almost as if the Red Sea was parted there.
Yeah, all Wolverines after that loose ball kind of left the key in the hoop area wide open as we're going to get a quick foul call here on Brady Subart, who we come in. Subart, you can see he nearly dunks. It was up there, just needed to flush that one home, and Mountaineers continue to play hard.
You think you might want that one back?
Especially with the slam cam.
Slam cam. 62-44, Utah Valley lead on top. 10 minutes and some change left to play in this one. TJ Washington. Connor Toulson, Jake Toulson, Ben DeQuassa, and then Connor McDougal back in the game with some gauze in that nose. Jake Toulson, and they're going to call an offensive foul. A little bit more emphasis from Jake on the offensive side with that shoulder.
Yeah, you can see after the third or fourth time, you can only go back to it so many times there, as all of the attention from the official is on Jake in that moment. And that time, just a little bit too aggressive there and trying to create space with his body.
I was waiting for Subart to pull a Karl Malone and pull the chair out from Jake there for a second. Connor McDougal with the rejection on the other side. And McDougal, who is already in the vicinity, licked his chops, and he has a little stare down there at the end. Again, what's scarier than Connor McDougal with gauze up his nose already? Mountaineers with 10 on the clock turn this one over. And that steal right there by Connor Toulson, that ties him with his cousin Ryan Toulson, all time at 58. Excuse me, at 100 with career steals. And he's only 57 shy from you, Holton. You lead Utah Valley in career steals at 157. So that steal right there by Connor Toulson tied his cousin Ryan. Again, 100 career steals at Utah Valley.
He's only got to get 2 a game, you know, something that is achievable. And Connor, he's got quick hands and he's an extremely smart player, so he can anticipate what happens on the defensive end. And I'd love for my records to get broken, right? It means the program continues to improve. Guys keep coming up.
You said records. For those of you who don't know, Holton Huntaker is either 1 or 2 or in the top 3 of virtually every record here at Utah Valley. He's a legend, this guy. He was healthy enough, fortunate, and blessed enough.
Very fortunate.
To be able to play and start in all the games that he did, as Connor Toulson makes the free throw. With this next free throw opportunity, again, opportunity to push this lead to 20. And Connor Toulson does. So now Connor Toulson is in double digits. 3 players for Utah Valley in double digits. Jake Toulson still looking to eclipse the 20-point mark. And an offensive foul will be called against the Mountaineers. This one is going to go against Cole Siekneck. That'll be his second personal.
See Cole just kind of move last second and kind of turned that shoulder right into TJ Washington as he came off the foul. And TJ, I think he keeps that hairstyle just so when he throws his head back, it looks more vicious than what it is. And so TJ sells it really well.
It lists Siekneck as 180 as Connor McDougal tries to go back to that baby skyhook. But that is a very thick 180 if I've ever seen one. He is very muscular around the arms. And when he lowers his shoulder in the screen position, TJ Washington can definitely feel that. Roberts trying to get Washington leaning. He does. Roberts with the floater misses, and McDougal gobbles up another rebound.
Quincy Harding, who we had mentioned, averaging 20 points coming into this game, just really couldn't ever find his groove. Only 5 points tonight, and give Wolverines credit as Connor lines up a 3 from the top, and this one out to Quincy Harding, see if he can get going on the offensive end and just a little strong in that layup.
TJ Washington with the give and go, Connor Toulson. We We know Connor has the elevation to throw it down. He was anticipating a little bit more contact. Now Sinkneck on the other side. Subart, good ball movement now by the Mountaineers. Harding trying to draw contact. He does. Draws the foul against McDougal. And that'll be McDougal's third personal, so both he and Steele. 3 fouls apiece for Utah Valley. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hartward come into the game. Nice give pass from the piggy bank again. Piggy bank strikes again. Another dime. He's getting close to that double digits. That was number 8. Quincy Harding makes the first free throw. 6 points on the evening for Harding. Still time to get to that 20-point average. Makes that 7.
Western Colorado now coming out with their 1-2-2 half-court, three-quarter court press that we saw early on in the game. They now fall back into man-to-man defense, see if they can kind of make their, last opportunity, make a run at this. Is Jake hot in that first half, just hasn't dialed in from the perimeter in the second.
Less than 8 to play in the contest. 66-46, Utah Valley on top. A 3-pointer. Long distance, Will Willis. 49-66. Pesky defense again. Ben Nequasa getting swallowed up by the Mountaineers. Somehow gets it away. Alley-oop. Connor McDougal again, courtesy of Connor Toulson. Teardrop floater from Harding. Harding starting to get a little momentum after that free throw trip. 51-68. On the clock, Isaiah White. A little too much mustard on that one from Toulson. Goes through McDougal. Here's the other side, Mountaineers. Ben Nequasa. That was his 7th rebound. Nequasa going against Sinkneck. Saved by Jake Toulson.
Both sides of the basketball, as you see McDougal on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, just with his hands on his knees. Both sides a little gassed, is starting to get up and down. The pace of play picks up, and Connor never gets tired. Connor rises up and knocks down his 4th 3-point shot of the game.
Harding gets tipped, gets his own rebound. Count it. Harding will go to the line for the 3-point play opportunity when we return from break. But another look at the alley-oop. Connor to Connor. Toulson to McDougal. Slam cam. Utah Valley on top, 71-53.
Did you know that over 43 million Americans struggle with mental health problems annually?
43 million.
That's 1 in 5 adults.
Did you know that there's 1 death by suicide in the United States every 12 minutes?
Did you know that suicide takes the lives of over 40,000 Americans each year?
Over 40,000 mothers,
Fathers,
daughters,
sons, brothers,
sisters, and friends.
Did you know that you can help reverse this trend?
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness, don't keep it to yourself.
What is it about the car shopping experience at Murdoch Hyundai that has everyone talking? Maybe it's the safety inspections or the car washes for life. It could be the price match guarantee, or maybe it's just the way you're treated. Come fall in love in Linden, Logan, and Murray at Murdoch Hyundai. Your no regrets dealer.
Connor's coming for you in a lot of spots. Just let me know.
71-51, 20-point Utah Valley lead. About 6 minutes to play here in this one. Utah Valley, as of right now, looks to be in control of this game. And if they do continue to finish off strong, they will increase their active home win streak to 17 games. again, is still among the top 5 in the country. A fantastic feat. Willie the Wolverine shooting arrows at those who are on their phones. And why would they be on their phones? When you're here in the UCCU Center, enjoying a great basketball game, watching Utah Valley flourish at home. But Western Colorado still putting up a fight, not going away. As we went to break, we saw Quincy Harding, go to the line, finish a strong layup, and he'll go to the line to try and get a three-point play capitalized here. And he does connect, so that puts him at double digits with 10. So he's still on pace to try and finish off with that 20-point per game average. TJ Washington splits the defense again, so silky.
What a finish with that left hand, going full speed at the rim, able to change hands. Unbelievable finish by him.
And Christian West saw that he ran out of real estate and just throw that one off of TJ Washington. He maintains that composure, has the strength, the upper body strength to hold that ball in, and then just somehow gets that touch to go across. Mountaineers missed a free. Here comes Utah Valley. Good defense by the Mountaineers. Quincy Harding. Kick out. West with no help. Finally, top of the key. Missed opportunity by Porter. Rebounded by Lowell. And TJ Washington will pump the brakes a little bit for Utah Valley.
Yeah, smart here. Just decided to take time for each of these next possessions. Time definitely on the Wolverines' side as they just try to milk this one through. And Bailey still gets his own right-handed hook to go.
Big man to bigger man. Lowell to steal. And Lowell gets a rebound on the other side. Here comes TJ Washington, 2 assists shy of 10. Piggy bank. Bailey Steele. Cross-court pass to Isaiah White. Wide open. Rims off. Steele with a one-handed rebound attempt. Gets a foul called against him on the floor. That'll go against Will Willis. That'll be his first.
9th foul there on the Mountaineers, which puts Bailey Steele to the line for the 1-on-1. Probably the only, kind of sore spot of the Wolverines tonight. Only 66% from the free throw line. They're shooting 50% for the game. See if Bailey can improve that. Because Bailey is a terrific free throw shooter. I've been impressed with him and McDougal for their size. Both can shoot the free throw really well and just getting that one to go.
Steele is 2 of 3 on the evening tonight from the charity stripe. 4:11 to play in the contest. Utah Valley comfortably sitting on top, 75-54. That was a good thought from Christian West. Give and go. Couldn't quite connect, however.
West expecting Will Willis to roll to the rim on that one, but Will Willis has shown us his range in this game, and he's a guy that likes to screen and pop back out to the perimeter. He looks to spread the court there with his ability to shoot the three-point shot.
TJ Washington step back, gives way to the Kwasa. Rims off. Rebound by the Mountaineers. Isaiah White with the steal. Nikwasa with the stutter step, baseline tiptoe. Kick out to Lowell for 3, rimmed off. Steele with another rebound. I believe that will be his 10th rebound. Isaiah White can't cash in. And that'll stay Mountaineer basketball. So when we return, Mountaineers have it below the hoop. Utah Valley on top very comfortably, 75-54.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
Take a look at Utah Valley's upcoming schedule. Again, they have that big showdown with Denver. That'll be a rematch of one of the craziest games Utah Valley's been a part of over the past couple of years. 2 years ago in Colorado, Utah Valley overcame a 27-point deficit. That's the second biggest comeback in NCAA Division I men's history. So they got that against Denver. And then they're just going to go down to the desert and play a team called Arizona. And then they're going to play at Northern Arizona before going to Weber and then coming all the way back here almost a month from now, it seems like, against Idaho State. But Coach Pope, as you see right there, the man with the folded arms and the freshly pressed suit, continues to try and challenge his team in all aspects, mentally, physically, with this schedule, trying to get his teams exposed to the best competition that they can, so that way, come WAC conference play, they're fully ready for it. Right out of the get-go, Colorado misses a three. Richard Harvard skies up for a rebound. TJ Washington still looking. One more assist, and he'll have two. Washington with the alley-oop to Harvard. Harvard couldn't connect with it. West. Harvard, another strong rebound. Another fresh face on the court for Utah Valley, Drew Cotton. Across to the low, back to Washington. Washington drives, and he gets fouled.
You know, during the stretch of these moments in the games, as you know, this one's in hand for the Wolverines as TJ Washington, hard foul as he finds his way to the free throw line. But he's want to make sure guys don't get hurt, and you know they've taken care and done their job here tonight. I don't know what it is from the free throw line, but Wolverines just can't get him to go. As you know, now that's going to push the Wolverines just under 60% from the free throw line tonight, as you know their field goal percentage is nearly there itself.
Washington makes the second free throw. And TJ Washington appears to have checked out for the final time. And he will have checked out with 9 assists. One shy of that dime piece from the Dime Factory. Big man, three-pointer, rims off. Wide low with another rebound. Ben Nikwasa pushes it past the timeline. Cross court to Cotton. Down low to Harward. Harward going to work. Goes back right. Count it! Harward got everybody up off the bench on that one. Bailey Steele flexing his muscles, trying to get Harward's attention. Harward trying not to crack a smile. You see his strength, fighting off the defenders, and gets it to go.
You saw that smile Richard gave the bench, and a little bit of a timid flex of his own, as that's just how great of a person Richard is. You know, he's an awesome teammate. Based on the reaction of everybody on the bench, we couldn't be more excited to see him get that three-point play to go down.
Nice drive. Willis gets the foul. And Willis will go to the line to shoot. Willis makes the free throw. And that'll be his first points on the evening. Makes the second. Now, if you look on the other side, we know that Utah Valley, with the time left, will very comfortably win this game and push their winning streak to 17. But if you look on the other side for head coach Brad Schaefer and company, this is just another opportunity to be exposed to different competition, to continue to grow their program, and just a great opportunity for them to continue to learn more about themselves. And so a three-pointer falls down for Utah Valley. Cash Fields cashes that one in.
Cash Fields not shy coming off the bench. As soon as he felt that leather in his hands, he let it fly. And as you mentioned, Western Colorado and them coming in here tonight not only has helped the current confidence of these guys playing against the Wolverines tonight, but it helps recruiting and everything as well. They come out and play Division I teams as Will Willis continues to stroke it from long range, knocking down his third three-point shot. All of them coming near that Curry range. Well beyond the three-point line.
Is that going to be a new verb in the dictionary this year? He curried him. Drew Cotton wants to get in on the action. McWasson wants no part of that rebound. Here comes West with the drive. And Lowell saves it. And shot clock is off. Ben McWasson, give it to Cotton. And that should do it. Coach Pope looks at Schaefer. And the butter's hard, the jello is jiggled. And the refrigerator door is closed on this one tonight. Utah Valley victorious big time at home. 82-59 is the final. Utah Valley improves their home match win streak to 17 games. 17 games. That's one of the nation's best. Top 5 for Utah Valley. And they had a top 5 performance tonight. Very well-rounded ball game, courtesy of all of their guys on the bench included. And towards the latter stages of this game, they were able to get those bench players with more productivity and all-around performance. Well done for Utah Valley. They did what they needed to do, and we're awaiting head coach Mark Pope to check in with our wonderful sideline reporter, Alexa O'Neill. Now Alexa has Coach Pope.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. So you guys have one of the best home win streaks in the nation. So with tonight's win making it 17. So how does that feel?
17 is beautiful. We talked a lot about 17 today. It's nice to have that done, and now we got a huge game Saturday for 18. Most memorable thing of the night, Cash Fields' first points as a Division I college basketball player. We're so excited for him. So the guys did a great job against a good team, a team that beat Air Force by 19 at Air Force. So a lot of respect.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, Alexa. Fantastic job. I believe she is awaiting Connor McDougall. Connor McDougall is with Alexa O'Neill.
So how does it feel?
Amazing, especially because we got the win. It's always fun having. If you lose, it's not as fun. So I'm more excited about the win.
Good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. Thank you, Connor. Connor McDougall again finishing the night with a gauze up his nose after taking a vicious headbutt. You see UVU President Tuinez chatting it up with head coach Mark Pope. Alley-oops galore tonight. Utah Valley again victorious by a big margin, 82-59. A couple Wolverines in double digits. The Tulsa connection, along with Connor McDougall, big man, finished with 14. Utah Valley again back home this Saturday against Denver, right here on UVU TV and the WAC Sports Digital Network.